Welcome back. We're sitting down with local school superintendents. We're talking about cell phone use in schools, and we've been discussing now some of your questions that you sent along.
You've probably heard them too. We've heard a lot from parents who say, I need them to be able to have a cell phone in class. God forbid something happen, an emergency of some sort. We want to be able to get a hold of them. Tony, is that a good idea?
Whether it's a good idea or not, it's realistic. Families are worried about their kids and where they are and what's going on. And in the case of an emergency, you want immediate contact. So we absolutely understand that, although it may cause some other issues in a real emergency situation. Some of the last things you want is for phones to be going off or signals to be jammed with the number of people that are on it. So it's very concerning sometimes that when you're in those situations.
Right. Rob, I mean, is that something that would be advisable? I mean, do we want kids on phones?
In certain emergency situations, specifically, just one is Tony, piggyback with Tony, is if there's a lockdown situation and there's an active shooter in the building, the last thing that we want is kids on their phones alerting the bad guy where there are students in the building.
Right.
Tom, I've seen situations in your district, various situations, threats made, things like that. You seem, at least in your district, to have pretty quick communication with your school community, coming from you, a trusted source with the information, not 13 and 14-year-olds just kind of sending out what they think they're sensing.
Yeah, and the reason for that is we don't want to jam up lines. We don't want, inevitably, every minute, that's more and more phone calls and texts that kids are giving to their parents, which then they're nervous, and then they want to know what's going on. So as soon as you can get that letter out to say to them where they're at. But I agree with both of them. If, God forbid, there was ever a school shooting situation and someone's going through the hallway to inflict as much damage as possible, you want the rooms to be as silent as possible. You don't want phones going off, because then the person would know that there's people in there. You want them to think that there's nobody in there, the door's locked, lights are off, and they keep going until our special patrol officer can put the person down.
But what can you say to a parent who is nervous about it, who wants a guarantee that their kid is okay, and they want to know that ASAP?
Well, I agree with what Tony said. It's a realism. So I've got kids in middle school. As much as I know you shouldn't do that, I would be fighting myself to not make sure that my kid's okay. So I would be a colossal hypocrite if I didn't recognize the dilemma that parents would have, knowing that that's their kid. They want to be able to make sure immediately that the kid's okay. So it's hard to say to them, hey, don't do it. All the police officers say don't do it, but that's their kid. So the reality is they probably would.
But Tony, we may have to.
We may have to what?
we may not have, they may not have access to their phones.
Correct.
If they can't bring them into a classroom, you got to lock them up in a bag or in a locker or something like that.
It is extremely important for us to have an understanding of what we're saying is going to happen. And then we have to have safeguards in place. So, like you said to Tom, immediate communication is going to have to happen from our district. We're going to have to get better at communicating as fast as possible so that people know the situation that we're dealing with.
Right. With the current restrictions that you do have, do you think that's good enough? That you're able to ban kids from using them at certain times, you have the red zone, and parents still have access. Do you think that's a better solution? Just having restrictions, but not total ban?
The restrictions have been working very well for us for 3 or 4 years. It's not perfect. We have kids violate it, and teachers have to address that. But we have buy-in from the community. We have buy-in from the staff. And not all the kids buy into it, but that's natural. But it does help with the reduction in the disruptions for the educational process during the classroom.
Right.
And I think giving the kids a little bit of that responsibility, it's a fact of life. Cell phones are here for most teenagers, and how are we going to work with the parents and the children on how to best manage phones in schools.
How to be responsible.
Different kind of education that you have to teach.
That's
All right,
right.
stick around with us. We're going to take a quick break, continue this conversation.